We built this tool called RightMyWork Editor. You have to remember the name, okay? RightMyWork Editor. And we're going to visit the tool. And what we'll do is we'll go to this address, www.writemywork.com, okay? And this tool, edit to a manuscript. You know, what kind of manuscript you have. Maybe it's a thesis or dissertation or journal paper or technical documentation or even a book manuscript, you know, essentially anything nonfiction. Just throw at it. It will edit it like it converts the document. Everything is done automatically. You don't have to do anything. In fact, our tagline is upload, grab a coffee, download. Okay, you sit back down, grab a coffee, do whatever you feel like to do. So this is our editor. As soon as you go to this site, you land onto our editor. And in our editor, there are a couple of toggles and switches and drop downs that you will encounter. Okay, the first thing you get to choose is English variant. We offer altogether 4 English variants. But if you are writing a manuscript, especially academic manuscript, the 2 that are interesting for you is US English or UK English. Okay, choose one. Let's say US English. And you can choose punctuation also. You can choose either American or US punctuation or British or UK punctuation, essentially. So how punctuation works is if you want double quotes and the punctuation marks should go inside the quotes, choose US punctuation. And if you want single quotation marks with punctuation going outside the quotation marks, then you got to choose UK type punctuation. These are just the superficial rules. When you go to style guide, there are more complex rules, but we'll not go into those right now. Now, one of the most important things that you'll get with this tool is the ability to choose one of the style guides that are listed over here. We serve altogether 10 style guides, but if you combine the Chicago author date, notes bibliography, and Chicago Manual of Style, these are essentially one style guide, but because all kinds of manuscript writers, authors, and academics we encounter, we had to divide those into 3. Okay, so 10 style guides are available. APA, MLA, Harvard, Chicago author date, Chicago notes bibliography, Oscola, IEEE, Vancouver, AMA, and Chicago Manual of Style. But if you are the kind of person who do not care about any of those styles, just choose none and you'll be completely fine because these 2 will work for you. But if you are one of those persons who would like your manuscript to be edited in one of those styles, just choose one. For this document, I'm choosing MLA. Okay, we're not just talking over here. We will go into the editing process and I'll show you how the document is edited right now. Now, the third option that you can choose, fourth option that you can choose, is whether you can switch on or off the Oxford comma, the serial comma, right? People know it by Oxford comma. But if you switch it on, the comma would not be there. And if you have used a comma, it would be removed. And if you switch, you get the idea, right? And you can also add or not add editorial comments. If you don't want comments, if you're an editor and you want your own comments, then just switch it off. If you're a writer, you want insightful comments, comments about facts, your argumentation. There are a couple of developmental comments also, but most comments are copy comments, editing comments, and some are style-related comments and punctuation and all that. But if you want your manuscript to have insightful comments, then just switch it on. Now, another parameter that you can choose is flatten, Zotero or Mendeley in-text citations. Now, if you are an academic author, you know what Zotero and Mendeley are, right? They are citation manager software. So if you have a thesis or a dissertation that is Zotero or Mendeley citations, RightMyWork approaches that document in 2 ways. The first way is do not do anything to the in-text citations that are field locked by Zotero or Mendeley. Just edit around them, maintain clarity, edit around them, do not touch them. Flag anything, any errors that you see inside the citations. Maybe put a comma inside the fields, but do not break the fields. That is one option, which is the switched off option. But if you want, and if your thesis is toward the final step of the submission process, then you can also switch it on. What it does is basically it flattens all your Mendeley or Zotero citations, or if you use EndNote, that's your call. It flattens those citations and turns them into plain text. But I have to give you a warning over here, because if you choose this option, all your fields will be converted into plain text citations, and you wouldn't be able to update those fields after you review the document. Okay, so that's a fair warning. And last but not the least, we have something called Autofill option. So Autofill works for those folks who, mention the volume number, or maybe one of the author names is missing, or maybe the DOI address is not resolving. So if those kind of errors are there in the references and bibliography, whatever you call it, then this autofill option lets you enrich those fields. Okay, this is only available in a couple of tiers, but I'm just letting you know that it's there. It's there for you if you are lazy with references. Now let's upload the document. You can just click on this button or drag and drop, whatever you call it. And then I have this document. This is basically a dissertation, and it'll take a couple of minutes to do its thing, count words and etc. And when you click edit my work, what it basically does is it takes you into a page where it shows you everything live. Okay, so what part of the document the editor is editing, you will get to see here. And if you are those kind of a person who hates to wait, then you can just enjoy the progress bar moving toward the right. Okay, not a fun thing to do, but still. So right now the main text is being edited, and as soon as the main text moves on to a couple of percentages toward the right, the references or works cited with editing will also start, and both will complete their editing process after a couple of minutes. Okay, it usually takes 2 minutes to 5 minutes for average length documents. But if your document is a long one, for example, we support up to 150,000 words, and if your document is a long one, you have to wait more than 10 minutes. And the editing time also depends on how complex your document is, what the formatting is, whether you have tons of references, or whether you have, let's say, tons of field citations, or whether you have citations that have multiple errors in one paragraph. So those kind of things control the amount of time taken. But 5 to 10 minutes is the average amount of time it takes for RightMyWork to edit your document. Okay, so if you also have footnotes in your document, another progress bar will appear just below this, and it will also track your footnote editing process over here. So it's completely transparent. What's happening in real time is shown over here in this window. Not a very great user interface to see, but still it works. That's what matters, right? So I'm gonna shut my mouth until this happens, and then we'll start seeing how the edits go. And Hopper, yeah, weird, right? Hopper will review the entire manuscript again, and then flag any stuff that Lovelace has left out, maybe an error that she didn't look carefully into, or maybe an error she made herself. Hopper will flag those out. Okay, so we have two editors, one main editor and one reviewer, going through the document, your manuscript, just to ensure that you get the highest quality of editing as far as possible. Okay, so that's what we intend to do. So without me talking so much about how good, how better this product is, which it is not, it will be, let's go to the file, edited file. Okay, where is it saved? Okay, over here. So let's open it, and then you'll see the edits over here. So this is Ada doing, editing summary and stuff like that. She introduced herself over here, and the document uses both thesis and dissertation for what appears to be the same work. I suggest choosing one term and using it consistently across the approval and recommendation pages. Okay, she just bashed me, right? Okay, I made a mistake over here. Not me actually, but you get the idea, right? And the editing is done over here. So let's see. Okay, I have italicized the terms unnecessarily over here, here, and all that. It used to be, I used to be like that in my master's days, and she has just corrected them. And the model name OpenAI's generative pre-trained transformer for looks actually off. Yeah, it is off. Yeah, it's not correct term. It's not a correct term, right? Exactly. Okay, whilst is a very old word. We don't use that often in academic world these days. While is good enough, right? So yeah, it flagged those kind of stuffs also. But if you are somebody who loves to use those, not obsolete but old words, then that is perfectly fine. That's okay. The claim new interventions have proved useful is broad and unsighted. Okay. I suggest adding a source or naming the specific intervention so the framing does not read as unsupported consensus. So yeah, one of the interesting thing Lovelace does, our editor does, is she will flag anything that is unsighted. Okay, if you are claiming something that needs a citation, then it needs a citation. Okay, so she will flag it out. And we have our Hopper who's introducing herself. It says, hi, I'm Grace Hopper, the RMW AI reviewer. My job is to flag anything Lovelace changed that may need a second look, plus a few things worth your judgment. Okay, Hopper. Okay, it's also flagging anything that has edited inside the quotes, because I shouldn't have removed this in order, which is inside quotation marks, right? That's what the source says. So if it does by mistake, then it will get flagged. Hopper's assistant will just flag it. Okay. Okay, these are a couple of, I can see a couple of developmental comments over here, and a couple of copy editing comments also. And one of another thing that I love about this Write My Work is the ability to flag errors. Okay, so this is an error, I think. Yeah, it's an error that Lovelace has done. What Hopper has done is Hopper has just apologized. Okay, your apology is accepted. Apologies, Lovelace means this: the book title Fact versus Faith, Why Science and Religion Are Incompatible should have been italicized on the MLA9 because it's a standalone published work. Yeah, it is, and it's done too. Okay, that's interesting. I want to go into every edit. You can see for yourself when we go live on May 30. Okay, it's not a big one. We're just going silently. And the sad part is that we have not been able to complete the regulatory part with the government. And there are a couple of things, especially the payment integration, that has not happened yet. We will go live without the payment integration also. Okay, so we are putting this thing out in the world. Try, use it how you want to use it, just use it. And if you have any feedback, comments, or suggestion, or if you want to reach out to us, then reach out to us at info@rightmywork.com. Okay, one of the things that I'd like to go, just two things. Okay, don't get bored. So this is a block quote which the editor has rightfully not edited. That's a good thing. But let's go to the end of it. Because many folks are particularly interested about what Write My Work will do to references, right? So these are our works cited. So references, when you use APA style, it's called works cited when you use MLA style. Okay, so let's see what it did. So ink incorporation is not needed, right? So flagged out, good. So yeah, double quotes. Okay, if my professor finds out, then he will kill me. So I had missed VOL over here. It just corrected it. And DOI is not a common thing in MLA. That's why it corrected it. Capitalized, great. Okay, APA, what is going on? So I had by mistake grabbed an APA citation, an entry, and then did not change it into MLA, which is now flagged, which is now corrected. Okay, so this is what Write My Work does to your references. It corrects your references, and you don't have to panic the day before your submission. Okay, so okay, this is our editorial report.